guys, welcome back to Soups On, which is my winter series where I make different soup recipes for you guys, because I don't know if you've caught on yet, but I am kind of the soup queen. I like every type of soup. As soon as the weather is good for soup, I am making soup, I am sharing soup, I am bringing people soup to lunch at work. I can't get enough. I think it is just a wonderful food type, warming and comforting and delicious, and you can make just about anything into a soup. Today, for December, we are going to make a chicken enchilada soup, which is probably pretty standard for a lot of you out there. You've probably made some variation of this before. Mine's not too different, but I just kind of want to show you how I do it and how easy it can come together. I mean, this is like a 30-minute meal, really. Well, you know, a little bit of prep and then 30 minutes in the pot. It's not bad. You know, you could do this easily for a weeknight. You could crock pot this and just like adjust a little bit for the crock pot, but it is super simple. And I've got everything laid out for you here. I'm just gonna start by dicing this onion here. Now I do have my soup pot over on the stove. It's got 1 tablespoon of oil and 1 tablespoon of butter in it, and I'm letting that melt because the first step in this recipe is sauteing your onion, kind of getting that softened up with what the recipe calls for is 1 fresh jalapeno pepper, diced, seeds removed. I like the nacho pickled jalapeno peppers. I like that little bit of vinegar that's in them. I think they're more delicious. They don't give you such a hard, hot bite. I just think they're like mellowed with that pickling, and I think those are really nice. So you saute the onion with a little bit of the peppers and some garlic, and that's how that starts. It's really easy, and honestly, you guys, the rest is like pretty much opening up cans. It's not anything difficult. There's a lot of different ways I like to top a soup like this. You know, you can do crushed tortilla chips. I'm a big fan of Fritos and a nice scoop of sour cream on top of this dish. I think that's really yummy. This freezes well. You don't have to use a raw chicken breast like I am. It calls for 1 large or 2 small. You can certainly just buy a rotisserie chicken, pull the chicken off the bone, throw that into your soup. That would be fine. In this recipe, the chicken does cook in the soup, which is nice because since it's raw, it's gonna get all of those, it's gonna suck in all of those flavors of like the enchilada sauce and the veggies and the spices. So that's really nice, actually. So we've got our onion diced up here. This looks good to me. I can hear my oil starting to bubble. So what I'm gonna do is get back with you in just a few minutes. I'm gonna saute my onion for, I don't know, 3-4 minutes. Throw some of the peppers in, which really you could do later since these are not raw, but I'm just gonna throw them in now. And 3 garlic cloves, diced, minced really, but you all know I'm a cheater and I like this minced garlic, so I'm gonna throw in some of that after I get my onions kind of softened, because garlic is very temperamental and it will burn if you add it into too hot of a pot. So we're gonna add that in sort of towards the end. I'll bring the pot back over here. We're gonna throw everything back in and talk about that. Then we're gonna let it go for a while and we'll bowl it up at the end. See you guys in a few. Hi guys, we're back. I have sauteed in a little bit of oil and butter my onion, jalapeno, and garlic mixture, and it already smells so good, you guys. What's better than onions and garlic, really, and peppers? I do want to add that this is just me, but I poured in a little bit of the juice from the pickled jalapeno jar. I find that adds like a nice little punch too, also to this dish. So you can do that if you want to. You don't have to. You can use the raw jalapeno. This soup lends itself pretty well to like almost anything you want to do, really. It's so simple. Next thing I'm gonna do is stir some spices in. I have half a teaspoon each of chili powder, dried mustard, and garlic. I also have a pinch of cinnamon and a pinch of cayenne. This recipe does call for cumin. I am not a fan, so I am not adding it. But if you like cumin and you want to add it, it is also half a teaspoon. So I'm just gonna kind of incorporate those spices with these hot onions and peppers to kind of start to punch those flavors up. Next, I am going to add in my chicken broth. This is 2 cups here. I'm gonna add another 2 cups over at the stove, but I only had this cup, so that's the part you're seeing. I am going to take my raw chicken breast and just tuck him right in there. I have a can of drained and rinsed black beans that I'm gonna add in. Always drain and rinse your beans, you guys. Nobody wants that sticky, gross bean juice. Just get rid of it. This is a can of corn that I have drained. That'll go in. Diced tomatoes with green chilies. 1 can of that. And I hardly think that this would be chicken enchilada soup without a can of red enchilada sauce. So we're gonna throw that right in. I'm gonna check for salt after a little while. I don't know, I might add some. Taste and see what you think. You know, some of these things, these canned things have sodium, and we're gonna be adding cheese and cream cheese at the end. You know, the broth has sodium, so you might not need it, but I would rather decide that later than put a bunch in now because you can't take it out. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put this back on the stove. It looks beautiful. It's just gonna simmer for about a half an hour till that chicken is cooked through. I'm gonna shred it. I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of a mixture of freshly grated cheddar cheese and Monterey Jack cheese. And you stir in also 4 ounces of cream cheese at the end. This is a good one, guys. All right, we're gonna get this guy back on the stove, and when this soup is finished, I'll bring it back and we can take a look and bowl it up. Thanks, everybody. Okay, guys, we're back. I brought you over to the pot now, to the stove, so you can see kind of where we are with our soup. I did take the chicken breast out a few minutes ago, and I shredded it up with a fork, and actually I used some kitchen shears too. That made it really easy. So the brothy part of this is done. We've got our peppers, our corn, our tomatoes, our chilies, our black beans, chicken, broth, everything. But now we're going to really kind of kick it up and make it extra delicious, and part of that is incorporating 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. I'm just gonna and I've got this on low now. When the soup was cooking, when I wanted the chicken to cook, I had it on like a simmer / boil. You don't want it to be on a rolling boil because that can make your chicken tough. But honestly, this didn't take more than 20 minutes. I thought it was gonna take about 30, but it didn't. So we're gonna incorporate that cream cheese in there. You can see that color is lightening up, of course, because that cream cheese is going in. And while we're at it, let's put our 1.5 cups freshly grated cheddar and Monterey Jack into this pot. I mean, what's an enchilada without some cheese on top, right? So this is really looking nice. This is exactly how, oh, and it smells so good on a cold December day. Just having a crock of this and maybe watching, oh, if you're me, the Gilmore Girls for the 3000th time, or you know, whatever you're into. But this is lovely, you guys. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this in this cheese bowl for you so you can kind of see what we're looking like here with these nice chicken chunks and these peppers. Yeah, look at that. That's, oh, it smells so good. All right, guys, I hope you make this recipe. I hope you like it. It is a delicious one of my favorites. Like I also said, it does freeze really well, so you could do that too. And let me know in the comments, or you know, hit me up on the Facebooks and let me know if you like this. I will see you in January for another soup video. I've got kind of an interesting one for January, something you might not have heard of before, so stay tuned. Bye!